Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. Today I'm joined by Karen Burke, who is the author of a book called Power Up for the Year, and she's also co-authored a book with her husband Devon, which is called The Calming Book of Healing Hugs, which will be out later on this year. Karen is actually the co-founder of the Mind Body Therapy Group, which is based in London, and she's a personal performance and business coach, as well as a speaker and, quite strangely, an accountant, just to add it all in the mix. So I'll just pass you over to Karen, who can tell you a little bit more about herself. Hi, Karen. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
It's a rainy day.
Yeah, it's rainy down here as well. It sounds really funny because when I lived up in Yorkshire, I used to say down in London, and now I'm saying up because it's further north than I am, and it's quite funny. Yes. So we met through your VA. That was correct, yes. So she recommended that we have a chat because she said you're an amazing woman, and you are.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So you've had quite a history of growth, basically. When I was just doing a short intro there, I went through some of the things that you do, and I said quite strangely, out of all the mix, accountant just doesn't seem to blend with the rest of it. It's like a bit out there compared to the rest of the stuff you do. So How about you tell me how you got started and what changed your path for you?
I think we're all multi-talented. So to me, I was always interested and good at maths. So it was always going to be banking or financial institutions back in the day. Mm-hmm. And therefore, when I started my career, it was, cashier and accounts assistant and things like that, until, when I had my daughter, I realized that. And then I realized I had to, there's another transition where I had to just be myself and my daughter and no husband. Then I decided I had to do the accountancy exams, and that's where that came in. And then so 20 odd years, 25 years in accountancy, corporate world, financial, insurance, banks, working in that world. But in the meantime, on my other side, I had always written poetry, and I had always, started little books and little scripts, and started performing as well. So I was with a band performing what I call songwritery, basically poetry with music. So we actually got to the jazz cafe and things like that. So I had always had this other side of me. So every time I, talk to people and said, I'm an accountant, it's like, but I'm not one of the boring ones.
Oh, good. Yeah, you see, I know it's quite stereotypical, but you say the word accountant and you just think quite plain and run of the mill and go to the office, eat the same sandwich every day. I know it sounds really bad, but it's because it's just a profession. The profession's just, it's dull.
It has moved on since then. It's become more diverse, more culturally diverse, as well as people that are doing not only just accountancy, but also, running their own businesses, but also, they have their creative side, whether it's art or poetry or, I don't know, abseiling or whatever it is, there's,
I think it's,
we have grown up in accounting.
Well, I know. It's just like, I think of school, you see, when I was at school, it was, they always said, and I know it's a limiting belief that people give you when you're at school, you're either good at maths or you're good at English.
Yes.
If not, you can't be good at both.
Yeah, that's how it
was.
So
you automatically think if you're good at maths, that's just your bag, and the rest of the creative stuff isn't.
Yeah,
so it's quite, it's quite a clear divide when that's how you get taught it at school, which is a bit crazy, really, isn't it?
It is, but I think again, it can be part of the limiting belief in the sense of, you know, especially myself as a black woman, I've known a lot of black men that have been told, okay, you have to go into sports, and that's all you're good at. But you know, many have gone on to become doctors and accountants and lawyers. So it's about crashing that,
Yeah.
and you know, doing what you feel is right in your heart. So I had always done women's groups as well, and you know, been motivating people. So when I decided, okay, I knew I wanted to work for myself at some point. So I said, okay, I'm going to pick up some accounting clients. But also the other side of me was, well, I love working with people. I love to see people develop. So I went to a 4-day week and in the corporate world, and I started a coaching course. So that's how that started. I'd done a coaching course, and then, you know, met my husband in a well-being group actually. So I was along that
Nice.
path. And then, you know, we started the mind body therapy group, which, you know, started virtually just to get therapists together. And then, you know, we started the website, and then a place came along, and then, you know, that started the journey along that line until I went to a 3-day week in corporate so that I could get fully more involved in the business as well as do some accounting clients as well. So that's kind of
Okay.
the start. Yeah.
And what is it your husband does?
He's actually the advanced massage therapist and Reiki master,
Okay.
as well as in a way being the founder of Mind Body Therapy, because he already had that name when I came along. And also we co-founded the social enterprise because his heart was full of community work, and I'm about the people. So we started t4h.org.uk, and it was very much about being able to continue to give back, but with some funding that we could go for at the same time. So
Yeah.
again, that's a dual thing. So, you know, mind body therapy might go for private, the people that can afford it, you know, and then we'll have a low cost clinic in the morning for people that need to access it for their aches and pains or long-term conditions,
Yeah.
but you know, cannot maybe afford it, so it's a lower cost. So there's lots of great work that we're doing on all sides. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, there's a lot of people with massage or and things like chiropractors and things like that. That it's great. People need that kind of assistance with their body or with, you know, with their mind as well. But
Yes.
they can't always access it because it can be quite expensive. But you know, you're paying for all the education that you have. You know,
Yeah.
it's not that it's overpriced. It's just the fact that some
Yeah.
people can't afford it or they don't believe that they're worth the investment either.
That's right. Yes,
And
I think it is.
people, yeah.
Uh, for therapists in particular, I think they even when I met Devon, he struggled to charge what he should charge, because I said to him, well, if a plumber charges a call out, or you know, there's a minimum of, I don't know, 60, £100, whatever,
Yeah.
then for all your expertise and knowledge, you need to be charging, you know, 50, £60 to for
Yeah.
the hour of your time. And that's, you know, something that we had to instill in some of the therapists in the beginning, to have the, at least in their minds, to have the exchange of
Yeah.
energy, and that exchange of energy is money. So it's about charging for your time, charging for your worth, charging for your qualifications, your experience, your expertise.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, when Devon started putting up his prices, even, you know, in his own practice, he actually got more clients. So, you know, that's how that it does
Mm.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's perceived value, isn't it? You know,
Yes.
if you see somebody who's charging 20 quid for a massage and somebody who's charging 80, you presume that the 80 quid's more is better for you or is a better quality. And it
That's right.
should be. It should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And then again, if you go for the 20 quid massage, then you're gonna get 20 quid's worth, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, that's right, exactly. So that's why, you know, some people, we go for Harley Street because of the name, it's renowned, you know. Um,
Definitely.
so it's just about believing in yourself and trusting what you're worth, but then
Mm.
again, gauging it, because as we do in on one level for corporate, we might gauge, you know, our away work. We send therapists out into to do away work, and it might be at a certain level. And then when we go to community, we might, you know, utilize a community company to charge a lower level to do some work with a housing group, or you know, they're dealing with their residents, or we're
Mhm.
dealing with you know, I don't know, it's a doctor surgery's well-being day or something, and we, you know, we charge a nominal amount. So it's just about knowing your audience and charging
Yes.
accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if it's especially if it's corporate, or if it's not,
Yeah.
if it's corporate, if it's a company that's paying for it
Yes.
or an organization, then they have budgets, don't they? It's different
Yes.
to
Yeah.
somebody choosing to pay for something out of their own funds.
Yes, that's right.
Mm.
It's a juggling act sometimes. It's a balancing act in the sense of trying to judge as well and just ask the question. A lot of the time, Devon says yes to a lot of things, and then we do ask the budget afterwards. What's the budget? And we'll work accordingly with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's around the range we think it should be.
Mm.
But we do have a lower bracket and a higher bracket, and so somewhere we meet somewhere in the
Mm.
middle sometimes. And then sometimes, even housing groups would try to squeeze us, with a therapist per hour. But we do push back sometimes to say, well, this is the rate. This is what we're qualified to do.
Mm.
We're not just sending anybody in. We've got well qualified therapists that are good at
Yeah.
what they do. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. People who have studied, but spent a lot of money and time studying and investing
yeah,
in themselves
yeah,
to give themselves that exceptional quality and that exceptional level.
yes,
They like you say, it does take a lot to say, well, this is what I'm worth.
yes,
Because you automatically think, oh, well, I should be charging what people can afford.
yes,
But if people really want your services, then they're
mm,
going to, and you're worth those services, then people are
yes,
going to save or make the investment because they believe that they're worthy. It's not about
yes.
your worth, it's about their value of worth, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. It's a difficult one for people to gauge, but as I said, it's probably knowing who your audience is.
Hmm.
So if it is, on the 2FH side at the minute, on the community side, we're dealing with a lot of, we can offer some free sessions, especially over the phone, befriending, counselling and mentoring and coaching, because we've got some funding.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore we're dealing with a lot of domestic abuse, people are dealing with domestic violence, majority female, but a few male as well. And, then with all the things they're struggling with, what says, moving out of their home or being thrown out or running away from it, with their children, battling with the court, with the police, social workers, refuge people, they got enough on their plate.
Yeah.
Plus working or not necessarily working, but, it's still the case of, well, this has been offered, and it's like for some of them, it's like a big relief because it's being offered on a low cost or zero cost for them.
Mm.
So that's that audience. But on the other
Yeah.
side, when I've sent something out recently, and to some of the people partners that we've worked with before in the mind body therapy side, and the conversation was, yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do some work with the young people, do something about uncertainty and anxiety and stress, do a workshop on Zoom, and at the end of it was, okay, what's your budget? And we gave the bracket, and then she said, okay, I'll check my budget and get back to you, and then you can send an invoice. And in some ways, we're a bit fluid with that sometimes, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it is just about saying yes first, and the money will come, and it does come. It's about where you put your intent. It's about where you put your belief. Not always from where you expect it sometimes, and not always in the timely manner that you expect it.
No, that's the universe for
But
you.
it's patience. It's
Yeah.
patience and faith, yeah, and trust and courage, especially when you jump out, because in 2010 I jumped out of corporate, and it was probably 4 years before I had planned, but that was enough. My spirit was dying. Literally,
Yeah.
felt like it was
Yeah.
dying, and I had to satisfy my soul, to jump out, and it was a big drop in salary, big drop in the steady monthly income coming in.
Yeah.
However, having a partner, who's quite entrepreneurial and full of ideas, and will say yes to a lot of things that, then we have to scramble around and find therapists or put a process in place, or, it has worked because we've got pieces of work, even from the beginning when we first set up the centre in 2009, when someone looked up therapists and well-being, and they read Devon's profile and they loved what he was doing in the community, and said, I want to reach people that can't afford it, people that might be bed stricken, that we can send therapists into their home, and
Yeah.
and work came out of that. There was funding from them, and the work came out of that in a sense of giving back. So, and that really helped us at the time to
That's
balance the
cool.
books. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Mm. So you do quite a variety of different things, which is really good.
Yes.
You cover the
Yes.
whole wellness
We do. Yeah.
energetically as well, with Reiki and things like that. So it's quite a spiritual practice as well as physical contact, isn't it? So it's
Definitely, yeah. Every first Sunday, Devon still does a Reiki group Zoom at the moment, and he calls it One Energy Systems of Healing. And that's why he had the name Mind Body, because it's, you know, so connected. Sometimes when you're dealing with people, you know, you realize it's not just their body aches and pains. There's tension, there's stress because of things that they're going through emotionally. Not everyone wants to talk about it. Some just come in for the physical treatment, but there are others that will have a mind body tuning treatment, which incorporates talking, also passive movements, you know, almost like a kinesiology type of thing. And also then, you know, it might be a bit of massage or Reiki. So it's created this combination again to deal with people that are coming in with mind and body, you know, issues. And then we've got, you know, everything from acupuncture to hypnotherapy and coaching, counseling in the center as well as the physical treatments like beauty, reflexology and massage.
so it's the
so
whole
it really
wellness,
works,
isn't it?
whole wellness. And then, you know, Devon, you know, you say about having so many things in our remit. Devon has started making products because we use the massage oil he makes, and we also use a lot of the sprays in the center, and people come in and immediately smell and you know, hear the sounds of the, you know, lovely music, spa music, and, you know, Reiki type of music. And, you know, he then developed a spray range. So we started selling that. Then a cream range. People started asking for his cream, what he was using on the feet. Started a cream range. So it's been quite a lot of things that have come out of it. And therefore, on my side, I started doing Power Up workshops. And so when I wrote the book 2018, Power Up for the year, you know, I'm re-editing that at the moment. And then myself and Devon are coming together to finalize the book, the Calming Book of Healing Hugs, which is another, you know, whole subject that, you know, is definitely needed in every climate, particularly 2020, 2021 climate.
So tell me a little bit about the Power Up book that you wrote, and what's that about? Because that's actually already out, isn't it?
It's already out. There's a ebook you can purchase on the Mind Body Therapy site, and there's a physical book that we can send out as well. So that started because I had, you know, put together so many newsletters and blogs, etc., about people was asking the same question. So they want to know how to set goals, how to stay in alignment with themselves, how to find out what they really love doing, you know, how to stay on top of it and how to keep going, how to maintain that. As well as, you know, looking at juggling all the balls that we do, especially as women, when you juggle so many balls and have so many titles, you know, mother, wife, you know, CEO.
Exactly like what I do with my clients. Everyone has to go through the same things, don't they? They don't know what to do when they work it out. Then it's how to do it, and then it's
that's it.
Time to do it.
That's it. It's time to do it, and then maintaining that as well and staying on track with that. So that's what that's about, in a sense of staying on track and really staying with your. I'm rewriting in a sense of really slowing it down, because I ask a lot of questions in the book, and it's really about slowing that down and saying, well, what do I really want to do? What's my soul asking for? You know, it's all about that. It's about also not just giving out all the time or rushing ahead, but fill up the, you know, decide what pots you need to fill up, you know, to sustain yourself, to give support to yourself, like family, friends, your career, your finances, all the pots that you have in your life. And then, you know, it's filling them up every so often, because often we just get so depleted rushing around all the time. And it's about pausing to make sure, you know, you have that phone call with your favorite friend, or, you know, favorite family member, or, you know, have those time with your partner or your children, and schedule it into your diary if you need to, because those are the things that, you know, when you find out the things that are most important to you, then it's about scheduling those things in first as priority, and then everything else, you know, will follow, you know, after that.
I think people have noticed that it is the little things that keep them happier, especially with the last year that we've had, and things that have been completely stripped from their lives. They're like, shit, actually my friends are really important, or talking to my family really is really important. They didn't realize how important it was to them and to their, to their soul as well, until they couldn't do it anymore.
Yes, it's even the exercise as well. Everyone's crying. You know, when the gyms they close down, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do exercise. I was talking to my nephew the other day, and he's like, oh my gosh, the gym, I'm missing the weights. And, you know, he's just, but at the same time, things still happen, and people realize that, you know, you can't just stop life. You have to find other ways. You have to adapt. You have to be
Yeah.
flexible. So you either do it at home, or, you go to the park, or, you go for that walk, locally, or,
Mm-hmm.
you find things on YouTube to be able to do. And you use your body weight,
Yeah.
you do what you can. The gyms have been very good on sending loads of videos out, or you can tap
Mm.
into that, you can still keep going. It's about, all those things that we said, oh, if I ever had the time, I would do this and this. And
Yes.
then when we were given the time, it's like, oh, the time's just going. How come? What am I doing with it? What's
Yeah.
happened?
When I
Whereas,
have the time, everybody must have said collectively, when I've got time, I'll do this. And the universe is like, okay, fine, I'll give you all a year off. Here you go. Do something.
do something that you want to do. It's like, oh, now it's like,
Now I have to do it. Shit. Now I have to feel actually do it. What do I want to do? I don't know.
yeah, exactly. And it could all change, because it's totally changeable. So I
Yeah.
say, people, every 6 months or a year, revisit, what you want to do,
Yeah.
revisit what, where you're going, how you're being, and what you want in your life, and things you want to learn or develop. Revisit, even the friends that you have, the relationships that you have. Just, revisit every so often, because it does change. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
given the time, then utilize it the best way you decide to do it, because it's your choice at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like they say, now people have the time.
Mm,
So it's quite a good, I think it's been a good period for reflection and
yes.
actually taking stock of what is a priority in your life and what should be a priority in your life, as in,
Yes.
things that you thought were important, maybe they weren't, or
Mm,
yeah. So
mm.
that's the book that you have. So the book that you're creating with Devon,
Mhm.
that was right.
Devon, like the
Devon. Yeah, I don't know
county.
why I said Devon. That was what on earth is
Actually,
that?
no, it could be, it's something that he had decided might be his perfume.
Oh, God.
It's Devon. So you said it
Devon.
right. Devon.
Yeah, there's no accent there. It's just Devon. Okay, yeah. So the calming book of hugs. No,
Healing
that's
hugs.
healing hugs. Yes.
The
So
calming
what's
book of
that about
healing
then?
hugs. So that's about how important hugs are and what it does to us. We don't realize, if we're holding it for, more than 3-5 seconds, they say 20 seconds, it sounds a long time, but when you're snuggled in with somebody, especially with that bear hug, it does help to release tension in the body. It does help to drop your shoulders. It's a feeling of, I'm safe,
Yeah.
I'm well, all
Opens
is
the
well,
sternum.
you've got me. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it does something physically to our body, in the sense of the fight and flight syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does, in a way, decompress us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And so that's how important the hugs are. So we go into how important they are, what they are, the different types of hugs as well that you can do. Some fun, as well, that you can do with people. The typical ones like the bear hug and the one arm hug. And, particularly, in 2021, it's about the virtual hugs. So it's those little things that you can still do to people.
Yeah.
It was my daughter's birthday the other day, and she said, oh my gosh, I was nearly crying, because there was a voice note actual from, hearing someone's voice that they sent, and it was such lovely things that they said. And it was so
Nice.
nice hearing that, rather than reading the message, or,
Mm.
on the messenger. So it's about those little things that you can still do. And it's something in the Guardian the other day, it was saying about the power of hugs, and how obviously we're missing them, but
Oh my
also
God,
how
yes.
important they are, to our sense of well-being, our worth, sense of connectedness with people. So there's so much in it. And obviously 2021 has really brought out how much we're missing them, with family and
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
I do miss hugs, actually. It's the one thing, the thing I miss the most is physical contact with people like that.
Yes, totally.
Just,
I come from such a huggy family. We just,
yeah.
even when I could see my dad, it was it could be, when we did go, we used to go gym, we used to go swimming as well, but we still done a few gym when we could. And that distancing, when he's just so used to running up and hugging, it was just awful.
Yeah.
Same with some my sisters and things. It's just remembering not to, and yet in those other times when we've been to a few funerals, it's an automatic thing to, yes, you have your mask on and things like that, but it's that trying to do the distancing, but at the same time you're just drawn to it. So it's very difficult to, especially in times of bereavement, sort of the grief, talk about the grief hug, when you're trying to give that condolence, that support, that care, I'm here for
Yeah.
you. It's really tough. But yes, at the same time, there's a fun hug. So when the whole family gets together, it's just pure, in my family anyway, it's pure laughter,
just
pure
jumping on
hugs,
each other.
and jumping about. Yeah. And that's how it will be, when we can hug again. It will be totally like that.
Oh my God, yes. I am a really, really big hugger. I hug my kids all the time. I hug my friends. I keep saying I'm just going to hug everybody in the street when I can. I don't care who they are. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I need the hugs.
That woman.
Get away from her quick! She's coming. I remember not last year. It was the year before actually. I was tempted to make myself a t-shirt that said "free hugs," and I was going to wear it. And my daughter was like, "Don't you dare!" But I was like, "But I want to hug everybody." This was before COVID, and they were like, "No, you can't." I was like, but I just wouldn't it be so cool just to be running down the street with a free hugs t-shirt on, and anybody that wanted to could just give you a big hug.
Just
that would
open
be
arms, yeah.
Yes, that would be amazing, and even more so now. I think I am going to get that t-shirt actually.
I think you might start a movement there. Let's start a movement together.
Yes, the free hug movement.
There you go.
We're the founding members.
There you go. We've claimed that.
Oh, that is the best movement ever.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is, during this time as well, it's been about kindness, hasn't it? About sharing kindness, looking out for your neighbours, staying local, getting to know your neighbours, getting to know the local shopkeeper, the shops that have stayed open, the ones that you realise that are going and doing their NHS shift, it's been all about all of that, recognising and saying thanks and just being kind to people, and especially in your own household as well. It's been a tremendous amount of strain and stress in a household, particularly with people, parents homeschooling and working themselves. But I suppose it's remembering to take that breath, but also just being kind and have some respect, for yourself and each other. It goes a long way. Yeah. And hug.
And hugs, yes. Yeah, I live with my 3 daughters, so we do hug a lot anyway.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And we get on really, really well. It's a bit like a sorority house,
good.
but sort of now we're in 3rd lockdown. We are like, oh, God, get me out of here.
Cabin fever, isn't it? Need to run.
Stop looking at me. I'll eat that chocolate if I want it.
Yeah, exactly. Have you eaten my chocolate again? That was mine. I was saving it.
Yeah, I don't know where it all comes from. It's just like this pent up frustration that I need to get out of the house. I'm just going to lash out at my children because they're next to me.
Exactly. And that, again, how important exercise is, because it really releases all that pressure, or dancing. Dancing is even exercise. It's just putting the music on and let's have a jig around to our favourite music. It does a world of good.
I did that this morning. My daughters were upstairs because the living room's upstairs, and I was really excited about something. So I went upstairs and I was like, yes! And I was jumping up and down and dancing, and I was going, no, celebrating the wins. And my daughter was like, Mum, I'm on the phone. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because she had it in front of her. She was on hold, and I didn't even realise she was on.
Oh no, Mum's at it again.
I'm sorry. Skulking off. I'm like, I'm
gosh. In trouble. She'll deal with you later.
Yeah, she probably will actually. But anyway, bless her. Yeah, you've got to do these things because you do get stir. I mean, we go for a lot of walks, but walking it doesn't release much, does it?
No. I mean, you need more. It's like getting rid of energy. It's doing the movement with your body and getting rid of energy. But I would say walking, but also walking in nature does release more, in the sense of just being in touch with nature and around greenery, and breathing in as and taking in what they give out to us. So but for me, I find it's the hard and fast exercise and energy, but then also blended with the yoga for stretch and everything, that but the hard and fast or dancing releases a lot for me, or boxing, or whatever you want to do in your house. Feel free.
Boxing might be good. I do dancing, but I haven't tried boxing. I don't know how good I'm not very good at. I don't want to get hit.
Okay. Kickboxing. I'm showing my age now, but it was Taibo back in the day, and I still put a few of the Taibo on, and it does
Oh.
it's kickboxing, which is quite good. You're releasing quite a lot there, punching and kicking at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
it does
yeah,
release energy, doesn't it? And
yeah, it
it's
does. Yeah,
yeah, I could do it in my room, couldn't I? Just like
yeah,
punch out and yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Find some videos and do that.
Yeah, after I'll scooch around on YouTube, won't I, and see what I can find.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Good idea.
God, there's so much out there at the minute. I mean, we can get bombarded, but there's a lot of good stuff out
Yeah.
there at the same time,
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's, well, there's so many different people got so many different needs, haven't they? And likes and
Yes.
stuff that, but I mean, you can find literally anything, which is pretty cool.
Yes, exactly. If you just know what to put in, and search. So for those that, might be dealing with, it is a lot of different feelings right now and uncertainty and, as you say, the just pent up stuff, but
Yeah.
also anger, real anger some people are feeling, and upset and annoyed, and they just can't figure out why. And then a lot of people obviously going through bereavement. So there's a lot of feelings to deal with right now. And there's a
Yeah.
lot in the air that you can actually almost tangibly feel it in the
Yeah.
air. So that's where, again, it's, as I said, to just be kind and reach out to somebody, make that phone call today, that we said, okay, we're going to do it this week, but no, today.
Yeah, do
Let's
it
make
today.
that phone call. Yeah, reach out
Yeah,
to
I mean, because
somebody.
bereavement's not just somebody dying, is it? It can be the
No.
loss of friendships
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
connection. It's anything that's taken away from you that you feel a loss of or hurt
That's it.
for. Yeah.
That's it. Loss of
Yeah.
freedom right now. Loss of
Yeah.
jobs.
Definitely.
The routine that we had.
Mhm.
It's just lots of things, whereby the frustration comes up. But it's being in the moment as well. So you try and release those pent up frustrations, but also it's doing the breath work. So when you're feeling like that, it's the breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 6. The old one
Yeah.
in the say, count to 10. Literally that is it. You're
Yeah.
taking a breath, count to 10 before you say anything if you're really angry, because that just gives you a pause to say, okay, what's going on here? Let me not take it out straight away on the other person. Let me just breathe a minute and stop.
Yeah.
Be in that moment as well. These moments, we'll never get them back like this. So it's just trying to think, okay, some are just really in their own routine, but homeschooling and working, etc. But others might have a bit more time, in different like trades like hospitality, etc. So it's about, what do I do every day? What do I bring in my own routine to help me get up and, get dressed,
Yeah.
do my exercise, have a shower, or go for that walk, or, come back and then you do a bit of reading, or you're watching a documentary or whatever it is that you feel like you're not just lulling away the time, as it were.
Yeah.
Of course, enjoy Netflix. Of course, I enjoy Bridgerton.
Oh, we
and
do that.
things like that. Yeah, of course.
Bridgerton was good.
It was good, and silly little programs, like Married at First Sight and things like that. It was just like hilarious and addictive at the same time. So of course we have those things in there, but at the same time, maybe think about, could I be learning something right now, or at least increasing my knowledge about something that can help me in the future, whether it helps you in the job,
Yeah,
or
it's a
as
good
a
idea.
person, or in your family. Anything that's going to help you to be more of what you want to be and do what you want to do in the future. There's a lot of open university courses at the minute. Obviously they've been there all the time, but a lot of people are finding that online learning a real good thing to do. Similar to what we're doing, we've logged into a few universities that are actually trying to help businesses at this time of transition, and in a way it's a good way to tap into making sure that you are doing something with the business, even if it's closed at the minute during lockdown. It's just a really good way of reminding yourself to, some of the things they talk about is leadership or finance, or how do you deal with your employees, or it could be what new things could you do to reach out to your clients. So, look out for some of the universities, whether local or not, that are doing business programs. There might be a 10-week or 12-week or 6-month program.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
And sometimes they do, it's like an inspiration to you when you're feeling a bit, because myself and Devon were both flat over the Christmas New Year period, 2020, and it took a while to come back around. Plus, he lost his dad, and we had to go for the funeral in January. So,
Oh, okay.
a lot of things going on.
Mm.
So, I think I thought to myself, should I do it? Should I not do it? So I did it. And a good thing that it kind of kicked off in January, because it was kind of like, oh, let me look at the mind body therapy business at the minute, because it's lockdown. We can't open physically and do treatments.
No.
Yet on the community side, we're doing a lot of befriending and phone calls and things like that. So that's luckily can still continue.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's to look at things differently. And what can we offer online? Because we're already we're doing mindfulness, and I can do coaching and things like that. But as Devon and Karen, or as even some of the other therapists, what can we offer online? So we, it's an inspiration to start pivoting and looking
Yeah.
at things differently. And if it's not a business course or a university business course, then YouTube's videos that might help, or on some of the Federation of Small Businesses, or Business Library. There's a lot of tools on there to help people to and free courses that will inspire you to look at things differently and see how else you can earn some revenue, see how else you can top up your income. Because to me and us, it has always worked that we've got some income from there, we've got some income from there, we've got some income from there, and connected trades, but at the same time, a bit different, maybe with a few of the accountancy and coaching, but similar in the field of health and well-being. But when one is down, the other might be up, and then when the other is down, the other might be up. So across the board, even personally, we've got try to make sure there are different streams of income, which is something I was looking at 15 years ago to make sure I was reading books like that. And it sneaks up on you that, oh, actually look at your life, because sometimes you are exactly where you wanted to be. And it's like, oh, I'm here. It's a really good feeling.
I didn't do a bad job after all.
Yeah, exactly. And you can pat yourself on the back, because sometimes, as my sister used to remind me when we was in the business 24/7, just going. It's like, Karen, slow down. Pat yourself on the back. You've done so much. You've done so well. It's like, oh, and then when you hear people coming into the centre, like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. It's getting better and better, as we add more things to the shelf and things like that. It's just, you don't see it sometimes because you're busy in it. But when someone comes in and says, oh my gosh, it's like, oh yeah. Oh,
it is it's really important to celebrate the wins, even the small ones, isn't it? Just to stop at the end, maybe at the end of each day or the end of each week, and just look back and think, what have I actually achieved this week that I hadn't done last week?
That's right.
How much further forward am I? It could be something small, but it's still like me this morning celebrating my wins. I was like,
yes.
Oh my God, exactly. You have to do that, because if you don't, it's just like, oh God, well that didn't happen. But you forget all the good stuff.
That's it, exactly.
If you're only focusing on the bad stuff, and that's and then it's like, oh, my life's crap because I've got all the bad stuff going on. But no, you don't. There's one bad thing and like 50 good things, but you forgot about the good things.
Exactly that. And then you listen to the news and it's all like, oh, and stuff.
Yeah, I don't listen.
And it's like, well, no, it's like exactly. Check what you listen to, check who's around you, who you're talking to, and all the things that are coming into your life, because it's about honoring yourself and your thoughts processes and your thoughts, and positive versus negative. What are you doing to what is coming into your life, and what are you allowing into your life to produce that. But as you said, the quick wins is and the good wins, I find journaling is been really good for me over the years, because every year I used to say, okay, whether we went, I know we could have gone Crete, or we went here and then opened the centre, or we opened the new centre because we moved again. And it's like, when I look back, it's like, oh wow, look what we've done that year. And then I look back about 10 years, I've got it on just the first page of my diary, which I still have a file effects I'm still using. But it works for me, but as well as my Google Calendar. But on that front page, I just, put a few things on there. And when I look back on each front page for the years, even going back to 96, I'm like, to 94, having my daughter. So, wow, the journey. And it's a good reminder, if you journal, put things down, what you've done that year, or that every 6 months, or every day, journal if you like. But it really does hone in on, wow, was I really feeling like that then? And then this is how I am now. You can see the progress.
Yeah, and you're. I talk about manifesting, and people, they think, they're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. I can't manifest things, because they expect to think, oh, I really want this. And then they expect it within a week. Yeah. But it could take 12 months to get there.
Yes.
If you stop and you look back now and you think, this is what I wanted. I wanted to be in this position now. And I hadn't realized that I'd got to it because it was just a progression.
Yes. it's being patient and having the courage to still do the consistent work or the consistent tasks that you need to do to get there, whether it's making phone calls or you know, sending emails out, or you know, learning something. It's doing it consistently and being persistent with it. You know,
and the goals change, don't they, as well?
It does.
When you're here now, you're like, well, I haven't achieved what I want to achieve. Well, no, because that's a future goal.
Yeah, that's right.
But this was also a future goal now, where you are. Exactly.
And so therefore stop and pat yourself on the back, but also realize that life is never straight. There's mountains and there's valleys, and sometimes when you think you've reached, and then you end up in a valley again, you know, it's, you know, cold and dark, and it's like you haven't got the mountaintop view, and it's like, oh, I'm starting again, or you're reconsidering your life again. You've got to great stuff, you've done great stuff, but it's just, maybe it's a big transition, you know, bereavement or a loss of a job, or you know, separation of a partner, or something big that's happened that shifted you again. And it's like, oh my gosh, why am I here again? But you're not there again. You've actually moved in circles to get to where you are. And if you look 5 years ago, you realize you had strength then to do something important in your life. You have strength now to go from where you need to go to start climbing the mountain again. So you can
start from a different point as well, aren't you? You're not starting from the same point anymore. You're further on than you were. So
you've got more resilience. You've got more, in next book we're going to be looking at doing is building life muscles. You've got more life muscles to manage going forward. If you're given more, you're usually because you've gained more and you've got more to do, but you know, you'll be given those tools to do it. You've got better methods of coping. You've got better tools to think positive every day. You've got you know, better set of friendships around you. You've got, you know, better family relationships, whatever it is. You know, you've moved on. You know, you're not where you were before, and wherever you are, it's never too late. You know, for whatever you want to do, or even if you're content where you are, that's fine. Just keep developing, keep you know, keep growing. Keep growing, keep your mind positive, you know, keep reading great books, keep, you know, listening to great podcasts, and, you know,
like this one.
Yeah, that's right. Like this one. Listen to Tara's podcast. She's got loads more. But yeah, no, keep going. It's never too late.
No, it's not. I agree completely. Never too late. Perfect. Right, my darling. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If my audience want to get in touch, and they don't physically live in your area, how can they sample what you do or learn more about what you do?
So I would say the main site is the Mind Body Therapy Group site. So it's therapyforlife.net.
Okay.
On the community
we'll put a link
side,
in there as well.
Thank you. On the community side, you know, there is on the social enterprise side, if anyone's got any questions there, it's t4h.org.uk.
Okay.
To look at. And then again, on the publishing side, I've just done a little website there. So it's mindbodypublishing.net, where we, you know, it's going to start to push out in some books. So just have a look and see, you know, where you want to go. But you can find out loads about us and our profile on therapyforlife.net. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Tara. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. And thank you. And have a fantastic day.
And you as well. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.